Come on, come on, come on. How you want it, cognac or Patron? Brunch with the boys, we gon' give you what you want. And what you don't know, we about to put you on. Come on, come on, come on. How you want it, cognac or Patron? Brunch with the boys, we gon' give you what you want. And what you don't know, we about to put you on. Yes, we are the trending topic. Good relationship profits. Brunch with the boys, we the highest. Brunch with the boys, we the highest.
Another episode of Brunch with the Boys. I'm so happy to have you guys with us this evening. We got a special guest, but first I want to get to the fellas. What's going on, fellas?
Jezzy, what's good, everybody?
Hey, it's Mr. Gent out here. Turn up.
Turn up. I see y'all. Hey, I must say, you're looking extra white tonight, man. So good look on the brushing, man. Everybody pulled up.
You know, a little charcoal.
Everybody pulled up. Everybody pulled up. Cheers.
Enough about y'all. What's up with our guest tonight? Who we got? Special guest with us.
Talk to us, Gent.
We have Marie, a faithful listener, that wanted to join us at the table. You know, as we chopped it up. So
we appreciate you, girl. We appreciate you.
No problem.
Where you from,
Marie? In your hand. Yeah, where are you from, please?
I'm from Chicago, but I've been here in Florida long enough to be a Floridian too.
From the Chi.
Florida, you're Florida. Chi Rock to Florida. Okay, so you okay?
Great decision. Great decision. Your joints are.
Let's say your life.
Well, you know what I mean. Before we get into it, I want to just say a quick Happy Father's Day. You know, the mothers get a lot of shine. You know. Not a lot of great fathers out there. Actually, I would say there are, but we don't get a lot of recognition because bad ones tend to get highlighted. So we just want to say Happy Father's Day. We all have kids. I love my kids mostly.
Yeah. I like them mostly ad there. I like them mostly ad because, you know.
These are facts. My kids are teenagers, so you know how that is. But again, Happy Father's Day. Fellas, I don't know if you want to say anything, you know, to your kids. You love them?
The second one I love a lot. The first one, same level of love, different type, same level, different type. Yeah.
Depends on the day. Depends on the day.
I feel the same, man. I feel blessed. You know, I had my first one in college, so you know there was a lot of potential for room for error. Yeah, I wasn't a whore. I made a mistake, a general slip up that some people do. However, you know,
general slip up too.
I'm proud of the way he turned out, given the fact that I raised him around a bunch of animals. You know what I'm saying? A lot of frat brothers and stuff. Right. But really, really proud of my daughter who's autistic, and I love the fact that she knows her limitation, but she's always trying to surpass them. And you know, she loved daddy. You know what I'm saying? So I can't go wrong with her. That's
what it is, Sean.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day to all three of y'all.
I appreciate it. We deserve it.
Marie. Thank you, Marie. Thank you. You got children?
I do. I have two. 11 and 13.
Is the daddy in the picture?
My kids. That's awesome.
Is the daddy in the picture?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? He's a sometimes?
That means, Marie, we was fucking at the same time.
We were.
Our kids are the same age. That's crazy.
Well, happy Father's Day to you, Marie, since, you know, he wasn't in that doing it strong the way he should do, you know?
Tighten up, niggas. If you can bust in the pussy, step up to your responsibility. You know what I mean?
No. Let me tell you something. Step up, ladies. Because if you fucking with niggas, let me tell you something. If you fucking the guy and you're not absolutely positive he's going to
my kids are from my ex-husband.
No.
Yeah, we're not talking to you. We don't mean that. I'm not mad at you for clarifying either. You need to make sure knows you ain't out there doing it like that. I get it.
If you married and a nigga messed up, then that's what it is. But I'm talking about if you out here with 2-3 baby daddies, right? And none of them niggas in the picture, that means you bad at choosing. Choose better. Yeah, that's what I got to say.
It's tough.
Sounds
it's
like
tough.
a PSA announcement.
You know, I know, ladies, it's not always that simple, so let's not oversimplify it. But he does have a point. You know what I mean?
It's real simple. You know what's crazy? The 2 kids that I got are by the same woman, and she takes care of them also.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's true.
So,
That's true. A lot of factors in there, but yes, to keep it simple, tighten up. You know what I mean? Both ways around.
because that nigga tall and cute don't mean he gonna be a good daddy. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's real. And if that nigga does not have stable income, he likely won't provide for your kids. I wouldn't base a family on that nigga. I'm just saying.
Joy does out here with a lot of kids though means a bunch of bitches choose the wrong. All I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
And if he ain't never buy you were with him for 3 years and he ain't never bought you a gift on any holiday, don't expect that nigga to buy you any of your children a gift because he's selfish anyway. He was gonna be selfish with you. He was definitely gonna be selfish with his
Hey,
kids.
Jet, I got a homeboy done for the last 10 years, maybe last 12 years. He ain't done nothing but cut hair and sell weed. But he got 3 kids under 12 though.
Yeah.
Kids. That nigga ain't had a real job in 12 years, but he got 3 kids under the age of 12. Come on, ladies. Come on. Yeah. Anyways, that's another topic.
Indeed. And as always, we totally get off topic. What we want to talk about today is baggage and the different types of baggage, and more specifically, how much is too much baggage for a relationship? What are you willing to put up with going into a relationship? And Gent, you smile because someone says you're a baggage expert. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? They say you meet all the bag ladies. You know what I'm saying? But
talk to us about
me and Erica Badu is close. But what I will say is I smile because I think that how much baggage you take really depends on how bad she is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes men are simple like that. Sometimes it could be based off of just nostalgic, being nostalgic and the time that you met her, you picked, she was this and this and this and that. And now, you have an opportunity and, you depending on what you get, you might make some bad decisions. That's all.
You sound like a nigga that made a lot of mistakes. I can't even.
Everyone makes
no,
mistakes.
But you seem like you stepped into some mistakes you could have walked away from. The way you if and button. So let's not even play with it. Let's go right to it. The types of baggage, if you come up with something, fellas, you already know how we do it off the dome. But one that came to my mind was financial issues, financial debt. Is that baggage that you can deal with? You get with a girl. Now you want to be serious and you put everything on the table. She says, I'm $70,000 in debt and she didn't go to college. Or maybe she's $90,000 in debt and she did go to college, the rest are credit cards and what have you. Is that something that it says, dang, bitch, I can't really start off right with you? Is that something you'd end it with?
I think it depends on her willingness to change, right? If she says, look, I made some bad financial decisions in the past that have really put me kind of behind where I need to be. And I'm about 60, 70 grand in debt. But I know what I need to do now. I was younger. I made some bad decisions, right? Because I'll tell you, like, I'm in a good place now financially. But in my 20s, I was making all types of impulsive. Y'all know me. Who the nigga that always got a different car? Okay. Yeah.
So every 6 months.
Every 6 months, though. Yeah.
We were worried about you. We were worried about you.
You stupid. So I think that there's a willingness to change. Then I think I'm able to support that if I feel like she has it. Because I'll tell you this, and we're all educated, but I'll tell you a college degree, while it is a key to being able to access some particular roles, it isn't a guarantee that you'll make good money, right? So, and I think there are people making good money that don't have a college degree. So I think that's fate, and I think more and more people need that. But I think if she's able to take care of herself and she says, like, I'm willing to do something different, and I really care about her as a person, I'm not opposed to helping her get out of debt.
90,000.
I think that's fair.
That's 60,000. That ain't
okay. So, but I have a question because some debt is not bad debt.
Yeah.
You get a house, that's debt.
True. It's true. They don't have a house though.
We talking. I think
they don't have a house. We talking about
the scenario that he's talking about is credit people and crisis counselors is calling the house. 4-5 accounts delinquent.
So why is college included in this debt? Because college is technically not a bad debt.
I'm not saying
it isn't a bad debt, but it is. It does make it more plentiful. So if I have 60,000 in debt and I have 50,000 in credit card debt, I have a repossessed car. I had to file for bankruptcy. You telling me that's not all signs? Is that something, Marie, that you would jump into with a man?
I didn't say I would jump into it. I was just asking for clarification on the debt.
Well, I'm asking you then.
You mentioned schools.
Yeah.
It's not a bad debt.
That's true.
House is not a bad debt. Bad debt is I got my stimulus check, right? And instead of paying your bills, you go stand in line for Jordans. That's bad debt.
People still doing that?
Yeah, those are bad decisions day to day.
Right. That's why you get bad debt.
Yeah.
I think the way I feel about it is, especially in the Black community, we're not really taught about credit at a very young age, right? So that leads us to make some really horrific decisions because the decisions are based out of the lack of education on it and ignorance. So therefore, we've all a lot of people put themselves in situations where they've incurred a lot of debt and their credit score ain't shit, and which makes their buying power useless. And like Dee said, you could do something about that as soon as you get educated and you have a willingness to change. Then again, that's a good sign, and it would remove the flag that I would have on that particular person to say, okay, if I'm willing to make a serious investment and we're going to move in together or get engaged or whatever, and I know I'm going to assume this, I need to know that I'm jumping in with someone who's responsible. That's all.
All right. Let's dead the money shit, because money gets complicated to me. If the pussy good, the dick good, ain't nobody talking money. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. She sucked that dick clean, sloppy nigga. You just like, listen, we're going to work through those money problems. I got a plan. You going to write a plan out. If he fucking you right and you coming every time, you like, you know what, nigga? Your problems is my problems, nigga. Can I get the dick again? You know, so
Facts.
Let's talk about kids. Maria, I want to ask you this. Can a man have too many kids?
Absolutely.
How many is too many?
What's that number? Yeah.
For me, it's over 3.
Dang, 4 isn't that bad though.
That's not true. So I met someone who had like 8 kids. It really depends on if you're taking care of your kids and how old they are. If you have 8 kids and they're grown,
no problem.
I'm good.
Yeah. You Gucci.
But if you got 8 kids and they like little children, no thank you. I'm good. 3 is my max because I have 2. So that means 2, that's 5. No.
Yeah, your math right. Your math is right. Don't worry.
Yeah, I just
But let me ask you a question. Does it have to do, so here's the thing. Does it have to do with the ability of that individual to take care of those kids? And what I mean is this, right? Having 8 kids when you make 40 grand a year is very difficult, and that's going to cause problems in any relationship you have. Having 8 kids when you make 300 grand a year is a little bit different. So my question is it about the actual number of kids or the ability of that man to take care of those kids without it having a negative impact on your relationship with him?
Yeah.
It depends on where you are in stage in life. I'm at a stage where it's not about the financial part. It's about how old the kids are. If the kids you have 8 kids under the age of 18.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
But why though? Specifically,
that's my question. Why is it a lot? What's the difference between what are you getting at 8 that you don't get at 3?
Because kids require a lot of attention and time. You have 8 kids. There's no time really for a relationship. If you have 8 kids, that's 8 kids over there. There's 2 kids over here. That's a lot of different functions. When you're starting a new relationship, that's a lot. That's a lot of baggage to deal with.
2 things. But my rebuttal to that, 2 things. First of all, I think we can all agree that anybody with 8 kids, that shit's a fucking anomaly, right? So let's make this more realistic. I don't even know anybody with 8.
Not as much.
It's not an anomaly.
I actually know.
I'm single. It's not an anomaly.
Quite frequent.
Yeah.
I don't know what lanes y'all running in. I've been on the earth for 30 some odd years, and I ain't never met a motherfucker with 8 kids. So I shouldn't say never, but
you know what? In the last 3 weeks, I've met like 6 with 8 kids.
So you need to start swiping left and not swiping right.
No, she's swiping right, nigga. She just ain't swiping right. You know what I'm saying?
Look, it's all about, it's like, hey, okay, you got 8 kids? Okay, it's time to delete. No, thank you. I'm good.
Let me tell you something. Anybody with 8 kids, in my perspective, is one of two things. They're wealthy enough where them having 8 kids don't fucking matter, or they're a poor decision maker and they're not somebody you should mess with anyway. And to me, you know that within 30 minutes of talking to them. Is this a motherfucker that had a plan for life? He's executing on his plan, and during that plan, he had 8 kids? Or is this a motherfucker that never had a plan? He willy-nilly in this shit, and he got 8 kids. You know that shit in 30 minutes.
Yeah, you know 30. That's why you delete afterwards.
I feel like it doesn't even matter about the kids, because when you have that many kids, if he's the father that you hope he is, he's active in their lives. And if he's not, then you ain't really respecting that nigga. So there's no way you have time for a relationship if you have 8 kids under 18. I don't think finances that matters as well. I think time-wise, like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, she made a good point.
But Jezzy, let me play devil's advocate, then we can get off this. I don't want to dwell on the kids. But let's say, like for instance, in Marie's situation, let's say I was married, right? Let's say I was married for 10 years, right? And I had 5 or 6 kids in those 10 years, right? And I was living in California, right? Maybe some of my kids are older, some are still minors. I moved to Florida for a really good job. I came over here. I was in a relationship with somebody for 4 years. We had a couple kids. Now I got 7 kids, right? That didn't work out because, I don't know, maybe she cheated on me, right? And so I left her. I'm not a deadbeat. I left her.
Oh, go ahead.
It's supposed to say, right? But it's possible, but I don't know that. Right? My point is that I think I could paint, and maybe I'm being a married contrary by painting like the one situation where like Marie would say yes. But my point is I think you can make a case that there are people that have been on a marriage for a number of years, 10, 15 years, and they got 3, 4, 5 kids. They leave and they like, yo, that shit was not the play. And their kids is in California, right? So they get the kids on the holidays and the weekends, but they live in Florida now. Yeah. So on a day-to-day basis, there's not 5 kids in the mix. They got 5 kids. They're providing 5 kids. Right. My question to Marie is, in that situation, those kids are maybe, they're in California, he's in Florida, he's taking care of them financially, doesn't impact your relationship, may get them on holidays and weekends. Is that a determination? Is that a situation where you're like, you know what? Yeah, he's doing good. God bless him. I'm not interested.
It boils down then to how much chemistry and how much I really like you.
Yeah.
Because I'm a person built for small amounts of children.
Oh, I thought you was. No, my bad. Small amounts.
Really?
No, she looked like she like it big. She looked like she like it big.
Okay. I'm still here for you. Go ahead.
Most of them do. Hey, did you?
I'm not gonna comment.
Where you still said it all right there.
What I will say, Des worked hard for this scenario, dog.
And painted the perfect scenario. Like, this nigga doesn't even exist, Des. This nigga's life, dog.
But see, he said he said 5 kids in California. Then you get with somebody in Orlando that has another 2 kids, and they got 7 kids. Y'all missed that part. And then he said, "What about that person, Kalisha?" That's 7 plus my 2, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 children. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Reducing every time you get to somebody, like
I don't know, but I know Des had backstory.
I try, y'all.
Basketball and stuff. Her name was Daniel, and his name was Daniel and stuff. Like, it was too much.
Oh my God.
This nigga sound like he had a perfect life too, nigga. I don't do.
Enough money to take care of all of them. They still require time.
All right, let's get into some more family issues.
Right.
Because family issues tend to be a big deal when it comes to baggage as well. Say, Gent, they have a sibling who has a drug addiction problem. Is that something that, you know what, and every time your brother come over, nigga, my money missing? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that something that says I can't be with you?
Oh man, Deshaun, man, I tell you, Deshaun, he really be tripping sometimes. But I tell you, for me, it's a difference where if that person lived with me, here's the thing, or not. Like if it was something where I don't have to deal with this type of situation, few far in between versus this is in my life every day, and that family.
He lives in town. He doesn't live with you, but he lives in town, nigga. So you're gonna see him when you see family. You know what I mean?
It really depends. It depends on how many base of friends he bring around the house. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot. I'm just saying when it comes to family issues, because the family issues can run a gambit. It could be, mom and dad lost their house. Can they move in with us? Type of situation, right?
You most sentimental ass nigga. Yeah, go ahead though.
Yeah, it could just be a number of different things. It could be a situation where you just have a family that just loves to backbite war and create drama in your life. Our family does play a very important role. That's why everyone says that when you marry, you're marrying the family as well. And I think that goes that's the same thing when you're dating, and when you're engaged, whatever that status is. You're dating that family, you're engaged to that family, you're married to that family. So family plays a big role into the success of your relationship anyway. If the shit is massively fucked up, I need to know how committed she is to those issues. If she's feeling like she needs
everything,
yeah, she feels like she needs to fix everything, and she feels like it's her sole responsibility, and that's all that matters, then I'm probably going to stray away from that. If she said, okay, I understand this is my issue, I'll help where I can, but I know that this is not what I want in my life, so I'm going to ensure that I protect myself. Then she has that mentality, then I can digest that.
So Marie, you brought something up, Gent, that I thought was an interesting point that probably happens all the time. Parents of your partner having to move in, or your husband. So would that be a deal breaker for you if you were married, or when you were married and your husband's parents had to come live with you guys? Is that something that could end the marriage?
It depends on what kind of parents they are too, though.
I can't see your eyes, girl. So yeah, I need to know. Mm-hmm.
I think it depends.
Can you see my eyes? Can you see my eyes?
Yeah.
I'm still blinking. I have no comment. Deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker.
Yeah, it really depends on the parents and how much I love the parents. If I can't stand my mother-in-law, father-in-law, how can we financially put them in their own space? Because I'm an alpha personality. If the parents are alpha, that's not going to work. I mean, I like my space how I like my space. And the only person I'm submit to is the person that I'm in a relationship with or I'm married to.
Yeah, right.
Say what your chest is.
If he's frozen, I'm still stuck on his face. Is he frozen?
Yeah, he must be frozen, or he's a mime or something.
No, he's doing a good job.
So it really just depends on the personality of the parents.
Yeah.
When I was married.
What about a sick family member, Death? Is he with a
sick family member?
So I have family members who have all types of issues. They cannot come live with me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find an alternative place for you to stay.
Damn.
That's tough.
Because I know what I can and cannot deal with. So you have to know your limitations as a person and what you can and cannot deal with, what you're going to subject your children to.
But here's the thing. You're missing the point was if your man sits there and tells you this is what he wants and this is his baggage, let's say it's his baggage, and you just said that you were going to be subservient and submit. So what you doing? Talk like that.
It's too much.
I'm telling you, it just depends on the personality of the person he's trying to move in.
Oh, so you finna drop him like a bad habit?
No, we're gonna have a discussion. Where is the alternative place they can stay? Now I do all the research in the world to find an alternative place. He says
he doesn't want no other place than his home because that's where he feels that they're safest. What do you do?
Well, then you need to have enough money to build a wing onto the house for them.
I'm not taking a second job. So what we gonna do?
Yeah, mama. Hey, listen, fuck all that. Listen, let me tell you something. My mama finna live with me, okay? And so is my great uncle. Anybody? Let me say something. Listen. You can't get to a point in your life, and so I don't necessarily disagree, Marie. So let me be clear on that. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with her, but I think that I think it's a conversation, right? I think you owe it to the person you're in a relationship with to say, I'm going to ask you if it's okay for this person to live with us. And here is why them living somewhere else it's not really an alternative for me at this point. And I think you have to plead your case, and you have to make your case to the person that you share a living space with, right? Because it's kind of like, let's say I'm with Marie. Hey Marie. But let's say I'm with Marie and let's say I'm with Marie and we have everything's going good, and then all of a sudden she like, yo, my great aunt Gertrude need to live with us. I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. Why Gertrude got to live here, right? Why she got to live here? Now, this is Gertrude. I don't know, Aunt Marie, my Aunt Jennifer, right? Why Aunt Jennifer got to live here? My conversation with Marie is, I need you to make a case for me as to why as to why Aunt Jennifer needs to live here, and these other options that are within her grasp are not realistic options, right? And if Marie is able to make a case to me that those other options are not as good as the option of her living with us for 6 months or a year, a couple of years, whatever it is, then I gotta respect that. But if she can't make that case, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You can't even make the case to me. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be able.
Family members aren't gonna ask to live with me.
They would never.
My mom, my dad, anybody else would not ask to live with me. Never.
Listen, we making a fake scenario, Marie. Don't be Mary contrary.
You think your parents would? You think?
So my parents would, and the only way they would want to live is if they physically could not take care of themselves.
Yeah.
Like if they were like, arms and limbs didn't work, and they would, the alternative is a home. Past that, my family is very independent. No one wants to live with someone else.
And I think this whole family thing is complicated, so we're not going to stay on it too long. We might be here all day in our feelings. But
I got one more thing I want to say. But before you finish, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I agree with Marie. Like, here's what I would say. You don't know who the fuck want to live with you until they ask to live with you. And I can tell you right now, my parents are independent and they got each other and they good. But if my daddy die, my mama might be like, y'all got space? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm definitely like, if it's between my mama and the chick I'm with, it's not really. She need to get with the program. It's not really any kind of deep decision I got to make, and I don't care how bad she is. Like at the end of the day, there's plenty bad bitches, dog. But I got one mama, so you know what I mean. That's just me, but
that's tough.
I get what you're saying, though. I think everybody would do that, though. If it's your mom and somebody you dating, is that genuinely like a thought process that motherfuckers got to go through?
So if you're dating them,
not everyone's going to do that.
If you're dating them, they really shouldn't have a say in the situation.
What about married? What about married?
Married spouses should have a discussion.
But what if they're a committed relationship?
Unless you're living together and sharing the bills.
Yeah.
He's right.
And we're just dating.
Yeah.
I don't have no say. Yeah. That's just like me having a say to say, hey, your mama can't come live with you because it's going to interfere with our sex life. That's unheard of.
You didn't lie, though.
Mama gonna hear these boys clanging. She damn sure. Let me tell you something. Mama gonna hear these boys clanging. Look, you gonna live here. You gonna hear all this fucking going on. But I'm giving you room and board. This is my goddamn house. You're not gonna put no rules up in here.
You wouldn't tell that to your mom.
That's in the on-party presentation.
I'm telling y'all. I would say, hell no, dog. My mom would hit me today. I know I'm a large man. Okay.
No, but I'm saying though, that would complicate the relationship because there's not gonna be a lot of her walking around naked when your mama or your daddy live there. There's not going to be a lot of
daddy don't mind
upstairs. I'm gonna suck you off downstairs because guess what? Mama on the back porch. So I just feel like it can't.
I might walk around naked, y'all. Y'all know my house, so she got to worry about my mama. My mama ain't got to worry about her. My mama walking on that bitch, titties out, going to get something water.
Listen, now everything is fucked up at home because when your mama titties out and your girl titties out, I don't know how you're supposed to get right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how we got here, but
you're just gonna mess up the children at that point.
Everything fucked up.
No, I agree. I've seen my mama titties plenty of times, and I'm normal. My daddy traumatized me when I was 12. I said, well, guess I'm not on track.
Oh man, I think in a lot of households being naked is just normalized because it's family. So that type of stuff, I totally get it. But you're a fucking fool, man. I want to get into some physical shit because you said something about missing a limb earlier, Marie. Is something like that too much baggage? I know that's crazy to ask, but could you meet someone and maybe you met them on an online dating app and you vibed and yada yada and everything connected? You thought they were good looking, and then when you meet, you found out that nigga had jeans on and one of his legs was amputated because he was in the army and he served our country. And you know what I mean?
You put a lot on there. You put a lot on there. Phil.
Does his fingers and dick work and mouth? We good. An amputated leg is not a big deal.
Turn up.
Shout out to the veterans out there.
Do his what and his what Marie? Hold on. Do his what and his work and don't say fingers. What you say?
I said fingers, dick, and mouth. I am not shy.
Do you need all three? Can his fingers work and you just get the dick in the mouth? Can his fingers not work? I mean, do you need all three?
Are we adding toys to this? Because you need all three. So if you take away one, you got to add another one.
Ain't nothing wrong with helpmate, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Get a little help, fellas. Get that bullet. Your tongue don't need to work that hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You ain't got to. Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, but an amputated leg, he was serving. If he, scenario, right? If he was serving our country or in a car accident and he lost a leg or had sugar and a leg got amputated, things
that nigga ain't living healthy.
I love when black people say that.
You got sugar. You got the sugar.
Things happen, so you can't, that would be shallow of me to say.
No, I agree. Let's take it somewhere else. Let's take it even further.
I think I beat you to this one.
You ain't got all your limbs and shit. I'm not really, and it's not that I'm prejudiced against you or nothing like that. I think there's somebody out there for you. His name is not King Des though. So that's all. I mean, I'm gonna help you find it.
Appreciate
it's not with me.
That
it's not with me.
transparency.
You find it. Yeah. I just wanted to make that clear.
What I think about when you said that, the first thing came up was that Kevin Hart movie, right? Where he was the caretaker for the paraplegic guy, right? And I can't remember the name of this movie.
Great movie, by the way. Great movie.
Do you remember the name, Jezzy? Because you're a movie buff, but I just remember that when he went on a date, right? And the girl thought she could handle it, right? And they went on a date and they're at dinner and she's having to feed him and she's having to clean his mouth and, something spilt on his jacket. And she was looking at it like, nigga, you just gonna let that sit there? And it was messing with her mind. And she just said, you could tell in her mind that she went through a series of thought processes where she says, this is way too much baggage for me to be able to deal with. Like, this is way more than I signed up for. Yeah. And so when you sit there and think about things like that, I mean, these scenarios truly exist, right? And so not everyone has that level of heart, right? You know what I'm saying? There's some people with some humongous hearts, right? That they can see past any and everything, right? And as long as that soul, that mind, that personality is blessed, they feel blessed, right? But there are people who are shallow, and I may be one of them, right?
Was it really shallowness? Is it really shallowness when you think about it? That's work.
It is work. It's work that you didn't anticipate, but I feel like it's shallow because I feel like the sum of a person shouldn't just be, is everything functional, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
fact. And the movie was called.
You're not gonna get with somebody who's in a coma.
Yeah. Well, you took it real far right there.
I took it real far.
How y'all met?
You be like, hey, look, Jezzy, the girl in the comments like, hey, so you trying to get loose tonight? You don't say nothing, so you just take it anyway. Why are you on top of her? Well, I said, do you want to have sex? And she didn't say nothing, so I just assumed.
I think that's still right. I still think that's right.
Not if you know.
Listen, Dad. I keep telling nigga, no means no. I don't know why we keep having this conversation. You too big to act this way, man. A big nigga like you, if you express any dislike, niggas get nervous. You know what I'm saying? That hoe gonna run. She should.
Nah. Sometimes they want you to fight for it. They want you to take it. No, but I mean in the best way possible. You know what I mean?
I don't know if there's any best way possible there, so we just gonna move on. And listen, I'm gonna be honest. This next story was actually true. I had a friend that met a guy, and they really vibed, connected, and they spent a lot of time together. Months went by. They were trying to take it slow, and when it was time to be intimate, he expressed to her that he had prostate cancer. He was in remission, but because of that, he wasn't gonna be able to get an erection, for the foreseeable future. And she was very, upset, obviously, because we talked about this before. Hoes want the dick too, and she felt like she was trapped, but he should have let her know early. My question to you is that too much baggage? If you meet someone, the connection's great. It's like your commonalities are on 100, and he tells you, I need a year before we're physically intimate. Is that a deal breaker, Marie?
Yes.
Damn.
So here's the thing: it's a deal breaker because, I'm not the woman we're gonna wait, because if we get together and it's horrendous, then we wasted each other's time. But if he has prostate cancer and it doesn't function, there are ways around that to be intimate with somebody and still have sex.
Yeah.
You shake your head, but it's true. It just depends if you really like that person and how well you're willing to be with this person. If that's your person, they got sleeves. They got all kinds of stuff that you can work around that functions just like a dick.
And your tongue. You said your mouth and your fingers and toys.
But you can strap something on and wear it, and it just works just the same. I mean,
Could that keep you, though? Could that hold you for a year, knowing it could extend longer past that year? And honestly,
I'm gonna try other stuff. Like, okay, so there are natural remedies that you can do to get yourself to work, especially after a stroke and everything. So I'm gonna be researching the hell out of that.
Yeah. Lick the taint, ladies. Lick the taint. I think
I don't think that is. That's in there.
You don't think that's the solve?
That's not in the research.
No,
really.
No. Listen, two things, y'all. Two things. First of all, yes, lick the tank. Listen. Look. This is King Dez. Y'all see my face? Lick that motherfucking tank. Okay, I love the tank lick. So I ain't going no fronting on my part over here. I love that shit. Second thing is this, Marie. I'm not disagreeing with you about the other stuff. What I'm saying is, it's not about the function of his penis, right? To me, it's about the honesty and the fact that he wasn't honest and he wasn't forthcoming up front. To me, and flipping this to a woman's perspective, that would be the reason for me leaving. It's not the fact that I agree with you, right? There's plenty of things out there that could get you guys to a point where you have a satisfactory, if not a great sex life, right? But it's about the fact that if he would date you and take up and occupy your time and not tell you something as serious as that, if
Dez,
that was
come on now, Dez, that's embarrassing.
But guys aren't gonna say that.
That's embarrassing.
Guys aren't gonna say my dick don't work.
Come on, man, I'm being too honest with these folks. Listen, let me tell you something. If you are going to, and I believe this wholeheartedly, if you are going to, and this is man, woman, if you are going to occupy the time of another person with the intent of establishing a relationship with them. I'm not talking about you just trying to fuck on the side because you got somebody main over here. I'm talking about your intent is to establish a relationship with them. And you're starting off the relationship by omitting things that will have an impact on how the other person feels about the relationship. That's not cool. And y'all not gonna convince me that shit is cool. That's not cool.
It's not cool, but the majority of people out there are not going to be forthcoming with that information.
So you satisfied with
a relationship
from the 75% as opposed to looking for the 25% that's not gonna bullshit you?
Yes. Let me put this out there, man. You think that every nigga with a micro penis told them before that he had these were surprises to these women?
First of all, men with small penises always say, I got King Dingling over here, and they lie about it. So
they want to take you out, and they be waiting 4 months to fuck. Them niggas, let me tell you something. Nigga wait 4 months, you got a small penis. That's not what I'm talking about.
Or he's on a path to being a better man and not jump in the bed?
You're
Can I
not
get option B, please? Jesus.
Listen, you're not going. We are not talking about the niggas on God's path. We are talking about regular men. Okay. Listen to me. What I'm saying is that is not the scenario that was presented. The scenario that was presented was he done dated this woman, and when it's time to get that gush, he talking about, oh yeah, I had nigga, you know, a nigga can't get hard and shit. You know, I had goddamn prostate cancer shit. Nigga want to throw the shit in there like he's talking about he got to go to work on Monday. That's some shit to bring up earlier. I'm not talking about a guy with a little itty bitty thing. I'm not talking about a guy with some other issue. I'm talking about a guy that tells you he knows when he's dating you, he has a condition that is going to prevent him from giving you the pleasure that he would like to give you physically. I'm not talking about choice. To me, I'm not saying you leave him, but to me, if you really fuck with this woman, have a conversation with her. Say, I fucking dig you, but I'm dealing with this issue that I want to bring to your attention. It's not forever and ever, but for the next 8-9 months, we might have to be creative, but it will get better. You want to come to an appointment, you can. Be up front with her. That's all I'm saying. In the scenario that was presented, that motherfucker was not up front.
He buried the lead. And I don't think that's something that you tell someone on the first date. There'll definitely be the second date. So I hear what you're saying, Des, and I don't think he was being dishonest. I think he was waiting until he knew something was real to know that, hey, since I see this could go further, I need to let you know now. Whereas early in the game, he probably doesn't feel the need to. And I want to flip this even another way. I've seen this on a TV show, genetic disorders. A lot of people carry them, and they're recessive, so they may not experience them, but they're offspring may. Would you date or reproduce with a man who maybe has, a genetic disorder that may be passed on? Something that could be detrimental to your kids.
Damn.
Is that something like, you're serious? Now you're together. Now hey, you're talking about having kids, yada, yada. A lot of people don't disclose that, like say, hey, listen.
A lot of people don't know.
Yeah, that too. But you find out
the assumption that he knows. The assumption that the person knows.
Yeah.
So you don't know. Because, for example, sickle cell trait, right? If you have the trait and you know that you have the trait and you're getting ready to be with somebody, a responsible person needs to have these conversations. What is there anything in your family that genetics has that before you start having children, if you are responsible, if it wasn't just a oops, we got pregnant.
It's almost always an oops.
I mean, but it's only an oops if you don't do what you're supposed to do.
Leave it in.
Yeah, you can say that all day long, boy. I tell you.
Hey, leave it in if you can afford it, fellas. If not, bust in the mouth, nigga. Bust in the mouth.
Nah, it ain't the same. No,
you can still get pregnant without busting inside of her. So you know.
That pre-cum got me one time too, but
that part.
Yeah, that way. Yeah.
Education is key, fellas. Yeah. Education is key.
It almost got me, I should say.
Hey. You ain't shit.
I'm just saying, it almost got me.
Not at all. Shit was here.
They didn't know.
Jeezy's not here. Jeezy's over there. Jeezy's not shit.
They go to the doctor and they find out you're not married yet, so you're not totally locked into this person. Do you move forward knowing that you could be potentially setting your kids up to be terminally ill or have a very difficult life?
Or do you have the conversation of should we have children or should we adopt or should we have a surrogate?
Or should I go get me another nigga because your sperm is Why is that option not on the table? God damn, your eggs is sick. I know another hole around the corner.
Hey, I got a story about this. So Marie may not know, but I had a friend of mine who, for the purpose of this podcast, we will call Germany. Germany informed me, and I don't even think, honestly, Jezzy and Gent, I don't even know that I've shared this with you guys. Germany informed me that she had a condition where it was a name for it. Like I Googled this shit. Like it's a genetic condition. Now the interesting thing is that it's not like, unlike sickle cell, it's not by race, right? In this particular situation, the individual was not black, right? So it's not by race.
Germany was the giveaway.
Hey, this nigga thought he was all coded up too, Marie.
Hey, you know what?
Nigga could never work for the CIA.
No rebuttal. She's right. Okay, so let me finish my story. Man. Okay? So, but she told me this, and the thing was, unlike sickle cell, but I guess similar to sickle cell, is that there is a possibility that although I have this trait, right, and it does not affect me in any way, so she was not affected by it in any way. If you have another person with the trait, I mean, your kid's basically a living vegetable. And so she was kind of like, if you don't have the trait, it's a non-issue. The person would carry the trait, which means your grandkids could probably have it, but it's a non-issue for the kid. And so she let me know that, and to her credit, she let me know that up front. I can tell you that I think that's important, and it's getting back to this whole point. I think that's important because if that was somebody that I had anticipated taking seriously from a relationship standpoint, I definitely would have got tested for that particular trait or abnormality, genetic abnormality.
If you would have had it, what would you have done?
I would have left her where she stood.
And it sounds bad. And shit, maybe it is bad. But if you could find out early enough in that way, why put yourself in that predicament? Even if it weren't your kids, but it could be your grandkids or your great grandkids. Why ruin your lineage?
I think a lot of people take those. I think a lot of people still take those chances because that information is therefore communicated well after that person is deeply, ridiculously, and immensely in love already, and therefore, they're willing to take that chance. Like, man, shit, I'm already all the way in. Some people are willing to take that chance.
Yeah, you're right. If you just don't have children? Some people paint too. Would you say?
She said, "What if
you just don't have children?"
That's not.
You found the love of your life.
Now that was an option for me. That wasn't
enough for you though. That's what you have to ask yourself.
So I think have children another way. What's wrong with having a surrogate? What's wrong with?
I'm not interested in
surrogate. I like my kids to be made the right way. I can't do that.
Yeah. I'm not doing nothing scientific, and I don't want nobody else's kids. So, and that's no knock on that stuff. You just got.
Not everyone's made for that.
Yeah.
Now, don't leave us now, Marie. Don't leave us now.
I didn't. The phone rang. Okay. I'm on the phone.
Okay.
It just rang.
So
I'm still
so
here.
now So here's the thing though. I don't think, like, for me that wouldn't have worked. And there's no knock on her, but if I got the trait to Jesus, why would I put myself or my kid or my future grandkid in that position when I know that I can avoid that? I just wouldn't go that route because there's 7.2 billion people on the earth, and I guarantee you there's another bad bitch out there for me.
See, women don't think like that because
it's no problem.
Might not get another man.
Yeah. Right. The numbers are always skewed to.
Oh no! You guys, the percentages are low. If you meet a great nigga, a great vibe,
6 to 1, 12 to 1,
hold on.
depending on the damn.
I dare say it one more time. Let me get my notepad. Hold up. Let me see.
6
to 1, you
12 to 1. It just depends on the city you go to. So women don't think like that. They're like, okay,
in Orlando.
Here are my options.
Orlando.
Orlando is like 6 to 1.
Okay. And I think a lot of women, and we've said this before, so we're not going to get into it, but I think a lot of women confuse the ability to get dick versus the ability to get a man. And any woman can get the dick. I think if you go to the gas station and raise your hand and clap twice, it'll appear like a fucking genie. But
3 niggas there.
Will you get a nigga to stay beyond that nut? And it's not.
That's a different scenario right there. That's what it comes down to.
And though that's the funny thing too, because women they'll talk to you like, if this ain't working, then maybe I'll, call a bluff sometime, fellas. Look them in the eye and say, listen, bitch, I think we both know what you have here. You can keep talking like that if you want to and play this game, but I can get 12 hoes to do what you do. You might be able to get 1 if you're lucky. So if we're gonna keep it real, but
say it, Jezzy.
I want to hear the truth. You know what I'm saying?
Say it.
Marie, are you gonna agree with them on this?
You know how I feel about this. So all right.
No, so I want you to pause, and I want to hear a woman's side for a change.
I skip my teeth.
Do you agree, Marie? Give her your perspective, please.
That there are
How he just laid it out.
How I just laid it out.
Know, you heard him lay it out because your face was changed up several times during the conversation.
You gonna talk, Maria?
I'm never scared, sweetheart.
I like that. Never. I just wanted to hear you say
it. Never. This is what I'm gonna say. There are more women than there are men. There are more women out there that will do what they need to do to keep the man that they have. If not, the man can definitely go find one who will. So it works in the favor of the man versus the woman.
He's a smart one.
Okay.
So would you agree that it then is more difficult for a woman to get a man to keep versus? Is she confirming? I mean, am I asking for the double down?
I think she's saying it in a way, but she walking
around.
That's what
women do, dog. They give you that political
so
they don't
it's not
say
hard
it and
so
come off weak. Keep it fucking real. I need gutter answers.
Okay, so if you listen to your man, what his needs are, you can keep him. Mm-hmm. Now, the question is, do you want to keep him after he shows his true colors? That's another question for a different topic. But if you listen to what his needs are, you can't be selfish and say, I'm in this relationship and it's all about me. I have to be able to compromise and say, we're going to do some stuff that you like and we're going to do some stuff that I like. You have to listen.
You know, you switched the question though, but I hear what you're saying. You switched it up like
I didn't switch.
Yes, you did all the way. He just
asking you what a woman has to do. We were asking you, can you speak to the truth that it is more difficult for a woman to get a man to commit to a relationship, whereas a man can get a woman to commit to a relationship far more easily?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
There you go. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I appreciate that, because when I say this, so often I get bunned. I get so much grief. And the fact of the matter is, I only speak from a place.
I'm single. No, I'm single. I can totally relate.
So Jezzy, one of the things that I don't think we talk about, I mean, we talked about a lot around.
Can y'all see me?
Not yet,
Des. But we talked a lot about, what are the things that we're able to do? What kind of baggage would be able to handle? But we haven't talked about what are some of the signs where someone is demonstrating that they have that baggage. Are there some early signs that you can indicate someone has some real baggage, like in the dating process?
Yeah, I got some signs written down over here. One of the things is that they tend to victimize themselves. So people who have a lot of baggage, woe is me. Everything that happens is not my fault. It's this person who did this, and life happened here. And I think those people tend to be the ones that have so much emotional baggage. You got to pay attention to those signs. That's baggage.
You agree with that, Marie?
I do. I mean, you have to think about, if you take somebody you're dating and they're recently divorced, and when I say recent, we're talking 2, 3, 4 years. Damn, they've been single. For men, apparently, yes. And they tell you about their ex-wife and their sex life. Them some red flags right there. That person is not over.
If they share with you their past sex life story,
I don't know.
You don't want none of that. We like fuck that. Honestly, we don't want none of that over here.
But first of all, I'm happy because anytime we land on sex, it's a good day. But how did it come up? Did he mention it himself? Did you ask?
Mention it himself.
Just out of nowhere. You're saying he just sprung it out of nowhere, or did you ask the question? Why did y'all break up?
Take the hint. That's a hint.
Yeah. That's a hint that he's not doing it the way he wants it.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask the question, so what happened in the marriage? Why didn't y'all work out? And they tell you blow by blow for the last 10 years that they're together about their sex life.
I mean, that's hard blow by blow. I mean, that might take like at least 10 dinners. Like,
but yeah, but and why?
You got to be ready for the answer though.
Yeah.
The answer doesn't bother me. It's the fact that every conversation after that is still talking about that same.
That means it's important to him, though. I think that's what it means. It means that is important.
Is it important? Or are we still hung up on our
but listen though, she's right though, because one of the signs of too much baggage is being stuck in the past.
That's true.
Stuck in the past, and you can't focus and enjoy the present happiness and future joy when
you're always talking about the past,
living how you felt then. And
I mean, if you're with a person for 15 years and they were a terrible kisser, well, why the fuck did you stay?
Yeah.
Excuse my language. Why did you stay? If they were bad in bed for the entire 15 years and you never cheated, never stepped out, and you just suffered because that's what you thought you were supposed to do.
Why you look like that?
15 years, it was bad, and you never stepped out.
You had sex maybe once a month, and it was terrible. Why did you stay? Because your kids are only like
once a month,
11. So
you should have been left. That's so bad.
That's what I'm saying. That's baggage. That's like, wait a minute.
I really
something's bad in your decision making skills where you're like,
And I just want to say something because you brought it up once a month. You know, ladies, fuck you, dog. Real talk, dog, because you want to be desired, right? And you want to only want you, but you barely come at a nigga with the pussy, right?
Thanks, Marie.
But yet you want a nigga to come.
So you bring this up all the time on every podcast.
You can come get it if you want to. You can come get it if you want to. Why you don't just take it? Because I shouldn't fucking have to take it. When I walk in the door, sometimes you should be on your knees saying, "Feed me, daddy."
So you bring this up every podcast.
You're ridiculous, dog. But you just said it though. Once a month. There are men living that life for real. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's for real.
I don't understand why you would stay.
I mean, maybe
I can tell you reasons you stay.
He has
kids, money, house, mortgage,
security.
Exactly. So you married 15 years. You didn't stay the first, 11. You didn't stay the first half of the marriage. Why you stay?
Because you're making an assumption that things were the way in the first half of the marriage that they are in the second half of the marriage. That's a big assumption. Often that's wrong. People.
If from day one your marriage, your sex life is crap, why are you staying?
Day one?
Because sex, finances, and communication, and the willingness to be able to have fun together are what make a relationship make you want to stay.
That's a solid top 4, though. That's a solid top 4.
Yeah,
but they make you want to stay. They make you want to do shit you wouldn't want to do.
Yeah.
If the sex is bad from day one and you're not no virgin, why are you staying?
Because you're making a big assumption, right? First of all, a couple things. First of all, sex being bad at the beginning of the marriage, I can't listen. If you marry somebody where the sex is bad, then I ain't got nothing for you. You dummy, and you made a bad decision, right? So I don't think most people do that. But what I would tell you is, folks, sex can be good and sex can be bad. And how good sex is dependent upon the desire of the person you're having sex with to put you in a place where you enjoy sex, right? Is it about you? Is it about them? Or is it about y'all? So my point is that you got people that have been married and had shitty sex for 2 years, and a woman or the man went to the other person, they went to your partner and was like, yo, this shit got to change or it's not going to be good. All of a sudden they go to a sex store, they get some things, and there's plenty of relationships out here that have a very satisfactory, if not great sex life now because of communication. So that can be improved upon, okay? But my thing is this. I think that you know what?
You do
somebody
this.
else take this.
You do this once an episode, man.
But 15 years and it was bad from day one.
And if it was bad from day one, he's right. And you are as well, Marie, that you should have never got into it. I think sometimes you start going through the motions. I think through marriage, it's not that the sex got, and again, this isn't me, but you get lazy. And a lot of men and women do it. I always blame women, and that part of me still wants to because I can only speak from my perspective, but you got to remain sexy. You got to still put that sexy vibe out. You know what I'm saying?
But so I'm playing devil's advocate, right?
Go ahead.
You say that every episode, women don't give up sex enough.
Because it's true.
Let's flip it. It's also true that men don't or won't give up sex enough.
I've been hearing that a lot too. I've been hearing that, and I want to speak to it.
You can't speak to it, but from a woman's perspective, if you've been in a relationship with somebody and they stop having sex with you, and you're still sexy, walking around, will drop to your knees whenever they walk in the room.
We got to talk about that, Marie, because you're selling me a dream.
Just because he ain't sexing you don't mean he ain't sexing.
And that's fair too, Daz, but I'm not saying I need to know. Sometimes we live in such a false reality of shit. You know what I'm saying? On what we think. You know what I mean? Nigga look and say, man, I'm looking good today. Motherfucker, you ugly as shit. There's an ugly nigga in the mirror saying that right now. Shout out to that nigga. My point of the matter is, for you to say that, you know, and I see this all the time, you know, bigger woman, you know, and they just putting on their show and they trying to seduce you and they think they doing something. The fact of the matter is you ain't hitting like you think you are. So I think that you can't
because she's bigger, really?
I'm not saying because she's bigger, because hey, some of that shit is too. Come on, let's fucking spit that shit real. Like, there aren't many people Googling SSBBW on fucking porn. With the chicks that are like, there's not many people.
Did you stop? By the way, for y'all who don't know, SSBBW means super sized, big, beautiful woman.
Fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It looked like she ate a sandwich and she said, let's go fuck something. It's fucking ridiculous. So you're not going to sell me on that because she's large. I love a fucking thick woman. And I never will say I prefer a petite woman over a thick woman. But don't tell me fat is thick. Don't tell me, don't piss in my face and say it's rain. Fuck out of here. So yes, nigga, you got to be fucking sexy and be in the real to know if you really are sexy. Don't keep that shit real. Everybody ain't keeping it real. So yes, if you're sexy, then you got to throw all the factors in. Is it your body, right? Are you, what are you showing? Maybe your body ain't right. Is you putting on some lingerie? Are you wrapping your shit up and presenting it in a better way? How are you coming on to him? Maybe he wants it this way and you're not listening to him. Maybe you're not giving enough servitude and submitting. There are many reasons why a man may be turning a woman down. Now, ultimately, if you're doing all the right things because these are the things he communicated to you, and he's still not fucking you, then yeah, maybe he owns some bullshit, and maybe he clearly doesn't want you. But I think women are quick to say, yeah, he ain't giving it to me. But are you listening to what he said he needs? Are you doing it the way he wants?
What happens when some men's sex drive go down?
Well, I don't know that. You can't speak for that.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I can't speak.
I had a friend who literally, his sex drive went down and he came to me. He's like, I don't know what to do. My wife keeps complaining. I was like, why don't you go to the doctor? And
yeah,
see, a problem.
He got low T.
Low testosterone. It's a problem that a lot of men will not go and ask for help.
Because it's not. The thing is, it's because it's not a standardized test. It's not something the doctors bring up on wellness checks. It's not even. It's something that you either have to request and be knowledgeable about. Because there's a lot of men that walk through life with low T, and it's creating a horrible life for them. So, I mean, that's a whole nother thing though. But I just don't want us to get too far off track because you were really passionate about this, Marie, for some reason.
She's keeping it real. You know,
she's keeping it real.
I'm saying that these days, and niggas and it goes to show the power that men now have. It used to be they was holding out. Now we can do it, bitch. So yeah, fuck off, ho. We'll get this dick when we ready. Tighten up, or you might not get it. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. 15 years ago, 20 years ago, we didn't have it like that. You know what I'm saying? This is a new movement. You know what I'm saying? It's a big movement.
Yeah, we're gonna start this movement right after the Black Lives Matter movement. We're gonna start.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? One more important thing.
Well, I think another thing, just going back to, you know, what's a good sign or a sign detector that you have someone that has potential baggage is if they're always negative all the time. I don't know if you ever met somebody, because I've met women that like everything, when you're talking to them, it's like everything is negative. They ain't seen a bright sun or a rainbow or some glitter or nothing in a long time, and everything out of them, you can literally be talking about, hey, you know, congratulations on their own promotion, and they'd be like, well, you know, Sarah got this, and that's really what I wanted. So you know, I just don't feel really great about that. Or it's always just something negative about how they feel about this person or that person, or they're always looking at somebody else and what they have, and it's always making them feel like they're in a negative light. Those are people with some significant childhood baggage for me, or relationship baggage. I think that's a good sign. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I just don't do it. I mean, I'm an optimist, and I like people that are looking for solutions and trying to move forward. So, a person who's always complaining or negative, like to be blunt, we probably wouldn't even get past like a first or maybe a second date. Like if she faked the funk on the first date to act like she was happy, and that real bitch came out the second date, and I saying she was always angry, we probably wouldn't pick it, dog. Like I just don't do it. Like there's enough shit in life to bring you down, so you don't need no extra help from your fucking self. Right, like you gotta. Every day I wake up in the morning. My mom always put this in me too. Like she was like, "Yo, every day you get up," and this is some shit she told me as a kid. But like she was like, DeAndre, every time you get up, there's somebody that didn't wake up this morning. Straight up. There's somebody that didn't wake up. They went to bed last night like you did, and they didn't wake up this morning. So every morning you wake up, you thank God for the fact that you got up and you make this day a good one. So like that ever since I mean, I remember my mom telling me that shit ever since I can remember, 5, 6 years old. So that's just every time I wake up in the morning, I'm like, yo, I'm glad to be up. Let me see what I could do today to make the world better. You know what I'm saying? Make myself better, my family better. So anybody that's not on that same kind of mindset as me, we're not even getting to a place where we don't know each other. Real talk. We don't know each other.
Yeah. Emotionally draining being in
for sure
around those people because they tap into your light. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah, that is some rough stuff, man.
Did you say something, Marie?
You have any thoughts on it? You have any thoughts on that, Marie?
Okay. The last thing we want to talk about was, a sign that is obvious to me as well is that person being unable to receive criticism, and them becoming very defensive, even when it's constructive criticism, and salty and angry, and it's really ugly because then you start to walk on eggshells around that person because their ego is so fragile. You know what I mean? In order to really be with someone, you have to be able to tell them the truth and say, hey, you suck at this. And that person needs to receive it and because of where it's coming from. Yeah.
And to be honest with you, there's no telling what kind of
you better stop turning that camera. I know
what kind of for real. What type of upbringing that person had, what type of relationships they were in, where maybe someone was just constantly verbally abusing them in some way, shape, or form, and their valuation was attached to that, how they valued themselves and their self-esteem, man. And that shit just plays out later on in life, dog. I mean, yeah, dog. It's all fucked up, man. It's really fucked up because then you can't have a conversation with that person without immediately being put on the defense, like you said. Therefore, nothing will ever be addressed, or there will never be improvement in that relationship. And so with those people, you have to accept the status quo. And if you're in a relationship, you got to be able to be able to grow and grow together and to be successful in that. So to be honest with you, yeah, I don't think that is the play overall. I mean, I'd gladly step to the side on that too, especially if it's
people should be alone. If you can't take criticism, you should be by yourself. Then no one will ever criticize you. Like, I think that's the simple answer.
That's real stuff.
Yeah, I mean, because you should want people around you to challenge you to be better. And no one's perfect. And I always say, I never pretend that I'm perfect. I always say, I know what I know what I don't. So I want the person around me to know things that I don't, to maybe know more than me and challenge me and call me out on my shit, hold me accountable. If you don't want the same, then you ain't it. So,
yeah, I agree.
So we talked about, all of this shit here, just all this emotional baggage. And I just want to wrap it up and say, if you feel like you got too much going on, know it. Be cognizant of it, like self-reflect and keep it real with yourself, because you're hurting the people you're trying to deal with. If you're not in a good place yet and you think you have too much shit you need to deal with, you likely need to deal with it alone. I don't think everything can be handled while you're in a relationship, because that person is going to be asked to compromise so much that they shouldn't have to.
It's not fair.
In place yet to give them what they need. I always hear people say, it was an old saying, if you love them, you'll let them go. And if they come back, you'll know it's meant to be. It sounds cliche. Maybe it sounds fucking lame, but it is true. Because if you truly love someone, and I've loved people that I've let go, I knew that I wasn't going to be it for them. but it doesn't mean that what we had wasn't real. So you let them go with great intentions, and I think it makes you a better person as well. So just be aware of your baggage, everyone, and don't leave that shit at nobody's doorstep, because we don't want that shit.
This is true.
I mean, that's a good point. I mean, for me, I think no one likes to be alone, right? So I think we all tend to jump the gun because loneliness is a son of a bitch, right? So whether you feel like you ready for the game or not, you know, there's a lot of NBA players, man, who knew they wasn't feeling good, or the ankle was still tender, but you know they didn't like sitting on the bench, so they got in the game and they fucked it up. They either tore something, or they played shitty, or whatever the case may be, right? But there's a piece of it where you just don't want to be out of the game, right? You got to fight.
I was waiting where that analogy went.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think you got to fight that urge.
That nigga always take 100 years to get around.
You got to fight.
Hey,
leave my analogy alone, man. Because
Hey, Gent said, you know what Carlos Boozer was playing for the Lakers 2 years ago.
You're not gonna go all the way back.
Analogy off like that. That's when
that's episode 2 right there. But but for real, like I said, take the time for yourself. I mean, I've been a violator of that for myself sometimes in my life, and sometimes you just gotta really recognize that in yourself and just say, hey, shit, I'm gonna wait till I'm good. I'm good to play. That's all I got to say. Yes.
Now, I just got a quick question, real quick. It's a little off topic. I hope I don't startle anybody by it, but this is more towards Gent and Jezzy. How long till you eating the pussy?
No, that's really off. That's really off.
I don't want to go off. You always going off topic. This time it's not my fault. I don't feel bad, but
I'm just curious. Is it 2 days, 4 days, 7 days? Does it matter on the girl?
Probably the second sexual encounter if the sex was good the first time. But I'm not eating it up the first time, more than likely, unless I'm really attracted to you. If I am and we're hitting like that and the connection is right, then yeah, I'll put my face in it. But if it's feeling more casual, I'm probably not going to eat it.
But do you expect her to suck your dick?
Absolutely.
On
the
first encounter?
I don't know what vibe she's giving, but I know the vibe I'm giving. I deserve the head.
So she doesn't deserve the head, but you.
Well, if she does, she's gonna get it. But if she doesn't,
right.
But we talking about the first. You said the second sex
if
encounter.
She deserves it, she shall receive. Is what he said.
Even on the first, she'll get it on the first if she deserves it. But
what makes her deserve it?
I'm probably not gonna lead with that on the first.
She got it special. So special. So special.
I don't think you pull out all the tricks the first time you hit a nigga either. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't think the first time you hit a nigga, you should even have to suck it off either. You should be able to stroke it, give him a solid hand job, get him up.
That's 2 hands. That's 2 hands. You know that 2 hands. I can't do it because I'm holding the phone. But that 2 hands.
And I just got to say again, a good hand job is hard to find. Like, a good hand job is better than pocket money. A good hand job is better than a franc. You know what I'm saying?
Don't leave that. Don't leave that. I know we off topic, but I know we towards the end of the podcast. I don't give a fuck. Okay. Jezzy said this on more than one occasion. Ladies, do not underestimate the importance and the impact of a well-timed and well-executed hand job. It will keep your man happy. It will keep your pussy from being swollen. And it will, honestly,
keep
man,
your arms strong too, and your arms toned. It's
straight up. It's a win-win-win everywhere you look at it.
Shake weight.
Like shake weight. I agree.
If you're not sure how to do it, you call me. You can practice on me. You can take it back to him.
Hold on. You a walking billboard now? Jesus. But make sure you don't got any like calluses on. I mean,
come on, with the proper moisture, none of that matter. And which women have calluses? What does this hoe do for a living? Nigga? Goddamn.
Hey, Dick got all the construction and shit. She built her house.
What is this?
She operated the jackhammer and shit.
It's all bodybuilder, nigga. Like, I don't put that hands up anyway. But just play with the tip and feel it out. You know what I'm saying? That dick will talk to you. It'll let you know what it was.
To answer your question, Des, I honestly feel like it depends on how comfortable I am with it. So I'm not gonna put no time limit on that. So I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's 10 minutes.
But here's the thing: as soon as I get comfortable, I might as well start paying rent down there because I live there now. Trust me, that's how I put in work down there. You know what I'm saying? And
is this before or after you buy her groceries? Is it before or after you buy her groceries?
Listen, I will buy and eat the groceries at the same time at the comfort level of eating the pussy.
Eating groceries and eating pussy go together? What? That's 1 + 1 = 2 for you?
You can never hit the J ever again. Ever.
Just go together with you all three. So, let me tell you something. Any hoe that respects a nigga that eat their ass the first time they fucked, man, that's what he do for every hoe. Think about that when he tongue your ass down all deep. That tongue been in countless booties. Because the fact of the matter is, that should be some.
It's called comfort level. It depends.
That should be some shit, dog. Like
let me tell you, that comfort level might not come for 8 or 9 transactions. Could be 20. Who knows? It depends on the first one. And you sound on day one. I said depends. It says depends on the comfort level. And if the comfort level comes way later, I'm fine. I'm a patient person, man. Trust me. I don't like sex is tertiary for me, bro. So it's not a primary thing for me. So I can wait on that thing. But when whoever get it, they gonna get it. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. Just said tertiary. That means that's not even secondary, nigga. Tertiary is after secondary.
Yeah,
so there's a bunch of other.
It don't drive me. It don't wake me up in the morning to go say when I'm gonna go find it. Like I don't.
You lost your T as well, nigga.
No, my T's still there, dog. Listen, and let me tell you, any woman that's ever met me, I put it down.
Listen, nigga. Okay? If I wake up in the middle of the night to pee, I think about sex, and it'll keep me up for hours, nigga. If I don't force that thought out of my head, I'm.
Hey, that's true. What you say? Look how she got her butt just tooted up in the air, like she want me to.
My thought, think about sex. If I don't take it out my head immediately, nigga, I'm up ready to fuck for hours, nigga. Fuck sleep, nigga.
I agree.
Well,
you might get this. I agree. There's men like Derek.
Listen, I didn't even think about sex until we talked about it so much on this damn podcast. Now, nigga don't know what's gonna happen tonight. You know what I'm saying?
You go find you some action.
Yeah, nothing's going to happen.
Anyway, man, this is Brunch with the Boyz, man, and we definitely appreciate our caller and loyal listener, Marie. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on here.
You stood up to these boys. You were relentless. You didn't back down. We appreciate that. You know what I'm saying?
We appreciate it.
No problem.
It's true.
But definitely catch us on every major platform that you can listen to a podcast on: Apple, Google, Spotify, all the rest. Big YouTube presence. Check us on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram. We're constantly posting and weekly episodes. Subscribe. Get out there, subscribe, and like, comment, share. We appreciate y'all for sure.
Hey, Marie, you got any socials? Appreciate it, Gent. You got any socials you want to share? Where can the listeners reach you? Are you interested in sharing that or not? They can reach you on here.
They can reach Marie on here.
She was being a little loose, so I don't think so.
Any questions for Marie? Anything y'all want to communicate? Y'all shoot it to Brunch with the Boyz. We will make sure Marie gets it, and we'll get your ass an answer because we're not gonna let her.
Yeah, and I think Marie is single, so fellas, if you like what you see, slide. You know what I'm talking about? Slide with it.
You can tell someone who near Miami right now.
They got it. Shout out. All right, y'all.
Appreciate y'all. Bye, Marie.
Bye.